because I've always been family orientated, that was something that was quite close to my heart, seeing the disappointment of what children go through and then wanting more from the adults around them. And so that's how I then started having discussions, or obviously helping children first and foremost, because obviously I went into mentoring. So wanting to help the children, help them see their value. Personal training alongside that was more about people wanting to improve themselves physically. But I figured out that if they're not in the right space mentally, then the physical doesn't always come. And so I spent a lot of my time then talking about work, how that makes you feel, not sleeping, how that makes you feel, why you don't feel like eating correctly because you're stressed out about certain things. And if certain things aren't all on a level par, or at least close, one thing will get missed out and you don't get the results you want, and there's friction.
100%. I mean, I think when we spent that time together, they were counselling sessions, you know, not deliberately, but they were, because it was a place where, you know, I even think about my own example. We talked about my career at the time, challenges, emotions, fed up of why aren't I going and doing the homework that I should do? And I love how all of these things have been experiences that have led you to this point. That's really the point that I wanted to get to in this video. It just makes sense. There's so many pressures on us, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, and that's what I see. I saw it in myself. One, because I got into football quite late, so I thought, I'm not as good as these guys here, because I came into it at like 15, 16. They've been there since they were 10. Then you make your debut and you've got older players that think they know more than you. And so there you doubt yourself. You don't question things. You play within yourself. Then when I transitioned from, you know, football to teaching and then to mentoring, and just feeling like, how am I going to do this? Am I good enough to do this? What gives me the right to do this? But if you don't start reflecting positively on yourself, then other people are going to see it as well. So you've got to see the value in yourself. Otherwise, it's almost like people can see it, you know? So for me, it was stepping into my new type of life. You know, I'm going to be someone that's helping people through personal training, mentoring, lifestyle coaching, M.I.R.R.O.R formula.
But in a succinct manner, the M.I.R.R.O.R formula, obviously it's an acronym.
It stands for me, inconsistencies, reflection, reframe, ownership, and rebuilding. The framework is to help people that are busy, maybe successful, have accountability under them, leadership, whatever it might be. And sometimes it's leadership of yourself. It's not necessarily of others, because you can be a business owner by yourself. Sometimes we are okay on the outside, but we're not okay on the inside. And what we want to do is see if there's an inconsistency between what we do and what we want. And M starts for me, myself, just the first place you're going to look. Then you're going to see the inconsistencies between what you believe and what you do. So action over your thought process. Yeah. I want to do this. Are you actually doing it? If there are inconsistencies between what you do and what you say, reflect on where that's coming from, because there can be a barrier to why you're not fulfilling what it is that you say you want. Once you've reflected on it and we understand it, we need to reframe it, because we need to change the way you think, or where that's coming, where that reflection and where that inconsistency is coming from. So we need to change that and reframe it. Once we reframe our mind, we need to create a cycle that runs alongside the old thought process, and so that we can jump onto it, because it's choice. We have to start making a new cycle for ourselves, a new behavior, a new habit. And when stress comes, we normally revert back to type. And so we have to make a conscious choice to say, okay, this is starting to happen. I'm going to choose to stay on the new cycle and not revert back to my old cycle. And I find that is what a lot of us do. We have lots of good intentions. We know what it is that we need to do, but somehow we slip back.
Yep.
So we need to intentionally take ownership of the change. And that's where the ownership comes from.
Yep.
Once we have that in place, then we rebuild. Now, you may need to go through that M.I.R.R.O.R formula in variations of your life. So it could be a relationship, could be a career, could be your health, it could be anything. But what I'm hoping is that you're able to place it on any area of your life and then run through it. And then it become automatic. You don't even need to, you don't even need to think about it. It just becomes an unconscious thing that you do. Okay, something negative has happened. Is it running alongside my values? If it's not, then I need to see where that's coming from. I need to then reframe it, take ownership of a change, intentionally try and do that with the rebuild. And no matter what in life, it's never going to be perfect. So we always need to kind of course correct over time. I've had to do it. So in order to have a better football career, I've had to course correct so that I can make the most of what it is that I had then. Transitioning and understanding transition, I had to then do the same. Okay, how am I going to do that? How am I going to be this new businessman and trying these new things that I've never done before? When I get it wrong, I can't have ego. I have to look at myself first. And when you look at yourself first, it allows then, if there are things outside, so extrinsically impacting you, you have more clarity because you've looked at yourself first.
Yeah.
Whereas if there is something from the outside impacting you, if you don't look at yourself first, you won't know, or you may look at it in the wrong way.
That said, is that this included that you went back to get a degree in psychology. So yes. That included you still bettering yourself more.
Yes. And that was difficult because I learned from doing, because I find it hard to retain information. So I have to find ways to learn this degree now. And prior to that was the diploma in lifelong learning sector, learning again, how to learn. But one of the modules that I had done was, if you don't do that one, you fail the whole year.
Wow.
Right. But I had by accident created a blank version of that module that I had just finished, and I had submitted it. And then my tutor just marked it 0. And so I phoned her and I was like, I do have a completed assignment. She was like, well, you didn't submit a completed assignment. It was blank. And so she just marked it down. But I said, you knew that I had to complete this one in order to complete the year. Why not ask me like something? And they were so kind of resistant on it that they failed me the whole year. So I had to then do the year again. In my mind, I was like, I am not giving them my money. I am not doing this again. I'm just going to stop. And my business was doing well enough that I didn't really need it anyway. But my wife's like, you've just done 3 years of the degree. Why would you throw that away? And I did have to bounce off her for about 2 weeks.
Here's another one where you've lived the mirror formula yourself again.
Yeah, that was a really difficult time in terms of academia. I don't like doing that stuff anyway.
No.
Now, don't get me wrong. A part of it, there is some accountability for me because maybe I should have checked it. So you do have to kind of take stock of yourself first and foremost before then you can see if there's negative things that you might need to push away from you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the mirror formula is. I want people to be able to use it rather than just, read it, go through it, and then it has no practical application whatsoever. The only way you know something really works is if you put it into practice. And you have to have something that is able to be put in practice, because in principle, if someone says something but they don't tell you how to do it, then it's almost pointless. So what I'm trying to do with the mirror formula in particular is give, like you say, like train tracks to go, all right, this is what you do first in practice. Can you do it more and more so that you don't need the tracks? It's just, how to stay in a straight line. And life will go up and down. There's no perfect life. It's just impossible.
Absolutely.
We all know that. And so if there are going to be negative aspects to your life or bumps in the road or friction, can we not cause too much damage to ourselves and others? Yeah. So that making it harder for us to get back to some form of synergy. It's designed for corporate companies to, give to their staff, their leaders, the people that are accountable to things, and help them to kind of see their work-life balance or see what it is that they need to do to become better leaders or to maintain being better leaders, because you don't always have to have something wrong in order to learn something. No. So it doesn't always have to be a point of crisis. It can be, how can I strengthen my team? Okay. Let's see how aligned with the mirror formula we are. And I can come in and then deliver that to them.